Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Getting on to the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY. We've got these 5 down here on the W1, on the D1. We've got the 3 up. We had that complex correction in here, 333 on the H4. We ruled out this bull hidden because we've gone and broken that low. And when we're in here somewhere, I said we'll probably come down, break this, invalidate that bull hidden, and then we'll give this correction. So I'm looking for this correction on the daily before we get more downside, possibly more downside. On the H4, we still haven't got down to this 100 fib on this first correction here. We can look at this as a correction in here. So if you do get a little sell set up in here on the H1, you can look for the sell because we're looking for this. We've got 3 down here. All right. So we've got that A, B, C. So if you get a little flag in here or a correction, you can look for the sell to go and break the low. AU on the daily. So I'm looking for this as a B wave. It's not impulsive. Like sort of was looking at this was a possible flat in here on the daily, but this isn't looking impulsive at all. So that's why I'm looking at it as that B wave. So I'm looking for a C down. We got 5 up here. We've got that WXYXZ. Looking for that A, B, C. It's slowly going, but yeah, we have that bullish divergence, so it's getting tricky. For the buy, you have to get a break out of the trend line here, and then you can look for a buy. Other than that, while this trend line here holds, you can look for the sells, scalp the sells. On the EU, on the daily, again, I didn't like this, like I've been saying for ages, you know. We could look at this as the flat in here to go and break that top, but I've never liked it because it's got that A, B, C in here. No, it's not impulsive. That A wave is not impulsive for the flat. Then we got this complex correction on the H4, the 333 on the H4 in here to go and break that top. But this, it's starting to look, it's not real impulsive, you know. So if we have a look, we're looking for the 100 fib up here. This is sort of looking like an A, B, C in here for an A, B, C. So we can start looking at this as a flat in here to go and break the top. But on the H1, we got C3 down. On the M30, we got 3 down. And we've broken this trend line. If I just go down to the M30. So we got this trend line break here, and we got bullish divergence, and we're getting this little flag in here. If you get a flag or correction in here, you can look for that buy to go and break the top. But yeah, get it to break even. You're at a top, so you know, you can buy. You can look for this buy. But yeah, get it to break even, and because it may just turn out to be like an A, B, C up, you know, instead of going up and breaking that top. So just be mindful. GU on the daily. So again, well, we're looking at this, you know, as a possible flat here. This is looking very choppy. We haven't quite, we've nearly broken that top, but not quite. If we go down to H4, we've got this, looking for this Z up. So we got WXY correction in here as a running flat, and we're looking for that Z up. If you get down here on the H1, it's not the best looking setup. I mean, this is meant to be impulsive, and it's not. You can see that it's not. You know, we've got an A, B, C in here for, well, an A, B, C sort of thing. You know, it's not. It's so choppy. This should be impulsive, like this was impulsive. It's not. It's corrective. So you have to be very careful when we don't get structures that, when we don't get impulses where we should be getting impulses. Because this can be an A, B, C up in here, and then like A, B, C, then an A, B, C, you know, like it can turn into a whole heap of different structures when we don't get this impulse in the C wave, like the A, B, C, and then the A, B, C. So it wasn't impulsive. So you have to be really careful when you get these structures when you're trading them. But you can see we are getting a like little, you're getting a little break here. This was quite deep, but you're getting a little flag here. You can look for the buy. I'd be targeting these, you know, like your first and second target, 123.6 and the 161.8 for that wave Z, you know, on the H4. We're getting to a top. This weekly 100 fib here is, you know, it's giving support and resistance. So, you know, NU on the daily. So nothing's really changed. We're looking for that A, B, C. Again, this is looking very choppy. So I'm looking at it as a B wave. We've got the 5 up on the H4. We got that W, X, Y, X, Z. Then we've got this A, B. And I'd like to see a C down. I'd like to see this MACD cross down and then give us that C down. So we get the structure, that A, B, C here. And then, you know, if you get that impulse and a buy setup, well, you can look for the buy for another 5 up. In the B wave, this B wave more than likely isn't over, because this daily B wave most likely isn't over, because we've gone and broken the top. We've only just broken the top. So I'm looking at this as a flat, possible flat. And then if you get the buy set up, look for the buy. If it doesn't give you the buy setup and comes down here and then gives you a sell setup, or you can look for the sell for the, and we'll look at that as the end of the B. UI on the daily. So again, I'm looking at this as a B. We never broke this top. This is a problem. We never broke this top. So this can be a contracting flat, and we're never going to know. We're never going to know until this low is broken. Here we've got an A. This is looking corrective. So I'm looking at it as a B wave, and then we get a C, at least a C down, or we get that reversal on the daily. On the H4, we got that A, looking at this A, B, C. Like I said last week, I was looking at this here as A, B, C, and we'll come fall over from here. But if we have a look at this one here, you can see how choppy this was in that C wave, in that running flat. And this is sort of what we got here. They're very similar, this here and this here, and then we broke out. So I'm looking at that as an A, B, C. I think we still do have divergence on it. No, we've lost the divergence. So again, we've lost the divergence on it. So we can look at that as an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. It can become quite complex now. And then we get the A, B, C. So you just have to be mindful. It's getting very tricky, we're at tops and bottoms. So market likes to be very choppy, and take people out, On the U Sheffy, excuse me, we've got this on the daily. We're looking at A, B, C. Then go and break the low. We do have that possible bear hidden on the W1 to go and break this low. You look down onto the H4, we're running out of steam. On the H4, we're looking for a larger correction because, we're getting a lot of bullish divergence. So like I said last week, we were looking for a retrace to the 38.2. I was only looking at it to the 38.2, maybe to the 50 fib, but to that 38.2. Looking for that larger correction. But again, this is looking like a flat in here. We've broken out of this trend line. If you go down to H1, have to look at this as a flat because we've got 1, 2, 3 down breaking the low. So I have to look at it as a flat. So if you do get a sell set up in here, you can look for that sell to go and break the low. But again, we're at lows, and eventually we're going to get that larger correction up to the 38.2, I think. There's no buy set up on it. For the buy, you really want to break the low, then give you a buy set up, to look for the buy at this stage, what I'm looking at right here now, that's the only way I'd be looking for the buy. But yeah, you can look for that sell. If you get a little flag in here, you can look for that sell. Again, you're very low. You're at it low, so you got to be careful. On the UCAD, we're looking for this extended wave in here. We're right at the 100 fib on the weekly. If you want to look at the weekly, I'd done it last week. So if you want to have a look what I'm looking at on the weekly, go and have a look at last week's video. But we're right at that 100 fib on the weekly. And I'm looking for this like W, X, Y. I'm looking for that X2 and then the Z down on the daily. Yeah, this is very, this is very tricky in here because we haven't got high highs or lower lows. Just got this. I was looking at this as the flat in here, but we never went and broke the low. We broke the starting point of wave A, which is all it really needs to do. But it's always nice if we do go and break that low and start fresh with an impulse and then give us a buy setup. It hasn't done that. It's very choppy. very difficult to trade. Like I said last week, it's going to be very difficult to trade. So we got 3 down in here. So then we got 1, A, B, C, A, B, C. Looking for a bit more downside, and then A, B, C, and then maybe an A, B, C to go and break through this 100 fib, give a larger correction to build the pressure to go and break this through this 100 fib. There's really nothing, there's no real setup on it. There's no structure. We can't find a structure. Like I said, it can be anything. This is 3 down in here, and it never went and broke this low for that flat. So we have to look at this as an A, B, C in here, and then the A, B. This may not be over. Like get an A, B, C in here. This can turn into a lot of different structures. There's no wait for an impulse and a correction, or you got to wait for an impulse, correction, and then you trade the impulse again. There's no impulses in it, so you just leave it alone until we get something solid. Wait until we find the structure and something to trade. GY on the daily, like I've been saying for ages, nothing's changed. We can go up to this 161.8 in wave Y. Then I'll be looking for an X2 and then a Z up on the daily. We're looking for that. This is the only one that was valid with that extended wave. If you remember, if you follow me, you'll remember this was the only one that was valid with that extended wave, because wave X1 and X2 were around the similar size. So we got that W, X, Y, X, Z. It's now hit both targets. We only hit the 123.6, and now we've gone up to the 161.8. That's the second target in that wave Z. So we do have bearish divergence on the H4. On the H1, we see this is looking very bullish still on the H1. This is looking bullish. So you really have to wait for a sell setup. And I'd be only looking for the sells, what I'd be doing is waiting for whatever happens. If this breaks up, more than likely, wait for your sell setup and then look for the sell. Because you get an A, B, C, at least an A, B, C, and then you may get another 5 up. But, we're at a wave Z on H4, so wait for the impulse down, wait for a correction or a flag, and then look for your sell. I'm more interested in the sell up here. We're getting close to this 161.8. It may get there, so you can look for this flag, but just be careful. Get it to break even and scalp it. If you're going to buy it, we're at a high. EG on the daily, nothing's changed. We're looking for this A, B, C. This is, I'll go down H4. This is very choppy and getting very complex. Like I said last week, I was looking at this as an A, B, C in here, but then I said, we can't rule out, because this was looking so choppy, we can't rule it out as a W, X, Y, X, Z and get that Z down. And that's exactly what it looks like it's going to do. It's going to give that complex correction in here. So, before we get that A, B, C, it's because we're getting such a large correction in here, I can only look for the A, B, C. If we go down to the H1, we really want to see this low broken and then look for the buy. So we want to really see this come down. Right. Just break this low, at least break that low, and then give us a buy setup. And then I'll be looking for the buy. I'm more interested in the buy than the sell. This is a weird looking, correction here. It's looking more bullish than anything here, just in here, But yeah, I'm going to wait until we get that break of the low, and then I'll look for the buy. You might just get a little ABC or something in there to look for the sell, But yeah, I'll be just looking for that buy. EY on the daily. This is a pattern we don't, excuse me, pattern we don't really see that often. We've got an ABC, bearish divergence, but we're up to this 123.6. Can this get to the 161.8? Well, possible, Same as a GY, We're still in this trend, this daily trend. H4. So I'm looking at this. We've got the larger correction here. I'm looking at this. We do have this like running flat in here. Filtering it all out, I'm looking at this as a WXY. I'm looking at all this as a wave Y. So I'll just change that. Looking at that is internal. So I'm looking at this as a wave Y. And then we get the X2. So you can look A, B, C up in here. Then we get the X2, and then we get the Z up. So that's the way I'm looking at it on H4. H1, it's looking bullish still. Again, if you want to trade it, you can. But you had this correction here. That's why I'm sort of looking at A, B, C in here. It's not impulsive again. This C wave isn't impulsive. So that's why I'm sort of looking at it as extended wave Y. You got a nice buy set up in here. You probably get another nice buy set up in here. You can just scalp these like flags, just scalp them. We're at that 123.6 on the daily, so start to be a little bit careful. Gold. So this one's broken through I was looking at this as WXY, and we'll get that X2 with bear hidden and possibly get that Z down, breaking the low. Now we've broken out of the trend. So to get that, it's still possible. You still do have that possible bear hidden, but it's going to be a larger correction. We're not going to get. We can't call it a Z down now. It'll be a larger correction. But why this top here holds, we still may get a lower low with that bear hidden, but we can't. You can't trade it as that yet. Again, gold, I'm looking at it as a WXY, an extended wave, and then we'll get that X2. You're better off to wait for the larger correction now, something like this or something like this. Really need that larger correction unless you're going to scalp. See, the H1, we're starting to get a lot of bearish divergence. So if you if you're buying these, you really want to just be in and out. Right? You want to be taking profit. I mean, you can look for the buys and that, but yeah, just scalp them. If you're going to buy it, just scalp them and keep tight stops. WTI, again, I'm looking for this. Nothing's changed. I'm looking for this C down. We're going to A, B, C, probably down to this. More than likely, it'll break the top here and give us a running flat. Bounce off this trend line, possibly. Some sort of running flat. Yeah, it's so choppy that I have to look at it as a B wave, and we know the B wave can break the top, but we do have that bearish divergence. So we're looking for the A, B, C, at least an A, B, C. So this has gone on for a long time. It's very choppy. We did get 5 down here. So we're looking for that again. So if you get a sell set up, look for it. We've got 3 up here. So we've got 3 up here with bearish divergence. Getting trend line break. If you get a little bear flag in here, look for the sell. Bitcoin on the daily. So we're looking for that X2. We bounced clean off that 161.8. We're looking for that X2. You really want to wait. I'd be waiting. We need to wait for the time factor. So we got a W, X, Y, X. X2 is not over yet. Wait for X2 to be over in time. And then if you get a sell set up, then look for the sell, for this Z down. It's going to be choppy in here. Like we sort of got 1 up, 3 down, this is sort of a flat in here. So A, B, C in here. So we'll probably get another one up here, but we can, may just go A, B, C in here, then go A, B, C, finishing off the move. So you have to be careful what's happening in here to trade it. I'd be waiting for the time factor, then waiting for yourself set up after that trend line break. That's what you want to do. So if this goes up and breaks the top here, you'll have a trend line. Wait for the trend line break in here, and then look for that Z down. And so it's a time factor. You'd probably take another week yet. SPX. So I'm looking. See, this is very. Looking at price action, this is very impulsive, and this is looking more corrective. So we may get some sort of a flat in here for an A, B, C, because we got 5 up on the H4, and we got an A, and we're looking for the larger correction. But this is an impulse. This is probably the choppiest wave so far. So we get an impulse down, giving us a flat or a running flat or expanding flat, and then another one up, and then we get the A, B, C. So this can, only really looking for the sells. We got that 5 up, so, and we have that bearish divergence on wave Z. So I'll be more interested in looking for sells. It's sort of not giving you sell setup, but we got bearish divergence on the H1 as well. So if it does really, it's looking more bullish, but I mean, you can scout the longs as well if you want, but I'll be more interested in the sells because we got that Z up on H4, so I'm looking for that larger correction. Like I said, this can be an A, this a B, and then a C down in here, and then we get that A, B, C. So it can become quite complex, and then the larger A, B, C, So you can sort of scalp it both ways if you know what you're looking at. At the moment, it's giving a bite. I'd be more interested in waiting for impulse down and then a sell setup. Then I'll be looking to sell it. For this, keeping in mind of what structure it may turn into, what larger structure it may turn into. The DAX on the daily, getting close to that 100 fib. Got a lot of bearish divergence. H4, we got the Z up on this one. Hasn't hit the targets. And then it sort of broke this top over here, and then fell over, So you sort of have to wait for, if you're looking to buy, you sort of have to wait for a higher height, then as a running flat, and then a C down for the running flat, and then A, B, C, At the moment, I'd be staying out of it, we've got the Z up. It's not really, I mean, if you're looking at the H1, you could look at this as an A, B. If you get a little flat in here, you could look for that A, B, C. Go and break the top for the larger A, B, C. But yeah, if you're trading this, you obviously know what you're doing. You can, sorry, the FTSE. Still looking at this as the A, B, C before we get that larger A, B, C. It's very choppy. It's not playing. It's not playing nicely now. We got the larger correction. We got this A, B, or WX, Y, X, and it's just playing around in here. So when it's doing this, I just stay out. There's no point risking money on it. We've got an impulse, impulse, impulse. Then we're getting that correction. So we'll probably get that impulse, correction, impulse, impulse, correction, impulse, then impulse, correction, impulse. So yeah, I'll just be staying out of it for the time being until we get a structure. Okay, so that's about it this week. I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. If you got something out of it, share it. Enjoy, and I'll see you out there next week.